Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday meditation. And my name is Jim. And I started meditating. 1976. I was going to school and taking engineering, and it really helped me in meditating before my midterms and before my finals. And back in those days, as we all remember, kind of burning the candle at both ends. So it helped me, get by on, 6-7 hours of sleep, and so I meditated. It was transcendental meditation, if anybody remembers way back then. So and I meditated consistently for many, many years, and then I kind of, it kind of fell away. Got married, had kids. My morning meditation, was replaced with, taking the kids to daycare at 6:30 in the morning, and really honestly, my evening meditation kind of gave way to a double scotch in the evening, and but I was still a crisis meditator for many years. So when I really needed to get rid of some stress, or if I was traveling or something like that, I would do my 20 minutes of meditation, and it really helped. It wasn't until about 4 or 5 years ago where I started meditating again, getting back into a twice daily routine. And I can really say that it really helped with my final days of my career at Motorola, that's for sure. So I welcome everybody here today, and what I hope to share with you is some points, some hints, some things that you can actually take away with you today, and that can help you, in your job and in your life. Is everybody here? Are you all teachers? Or how are you? Okay. So, well, anyway, I really wanted to say that my mom was a teacher for many years, and I've got a real, fondness for teachers, and an understanding that anybody who works in the teaching environment has that's got to be the toughest job ever. That's for sure. I remember my mom coming home and she'd be crying. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be a teacher. That's for sure. But here I am. So what am I? So one of the things I want to do right now is let's do something called a 16-second meditation. And this is something that we can do while we're driving our car. You don't have to have your eyes closed, and it's something you can do in those stressful situations. So let's just relax for a second, and how it works is what we're going to do is actually take a 4-second in-breath, and then we're going to hold our breath for 4 seconds, and then we're going to gently release our breath for 4 seconds, and then we're going to hold our out-breath for 4 seconds, okay? And I'll walk you through it. So let's take a long, slow, deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then gently let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then breathe. So let's do that again. And the idea is to do it on your own count. And really what we're thinking about is our breath. So I'll let you count your own breath and do what's comfortable for you. Some people have a larger capacity for, an in-breath than to hold their breath than others. So that's all. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Think of your breath coming in through your nose, filling your chest, expanding your stomach, and holding it. Feeling that air, that energy in your body. And then gently release it. Feel the warm air come out through your nose. And then hold your breath. Hold the out breath. And then breathe in. So does everybody feel just a little bit more relaxed? Yeah. And the reason that is because, that triggers the autonomic response system in our body to stop our stress responses. So, I know because you're in a school that it's you've had those stresses during the day. Everybody has them. Doesn't matter where you work or what you do. This will help. This will help you handle those stressful situations. You know, you can do this on your while you're on Randall Road, and when people are going crazy. I mean, we all know Randall Road, right? And so it's like, oh, okay, you know. And so my teacher, my mentor, David G., he's taught this same technique to the Chicago PD. He's taught it to military throughout the world. This is a very, very powerful technique. This isn't just, you know, something, a gimmick. This is, he calls it tactical breathing in their lingo, right? And it's very, very powerful. And the reason it works is, you know, as we were thinking about our breathing, guess what? We weren't thinking about, you know, the last 5 minutes, the last 2 hours, yesterday, and we weren't thinking about the future either. We were thinking about the here and now. And that's really the basis of meditation. It's thinking, keeping our thoughts focused on, not even our thoughts, just focused on what we are doing right here. And so this is a very, very effective technique, 16-second meditation, and you can take this with you and use it today. Some people that I work with, they start their day with this, and it's like, you know, one of my goals for everyone is that, hey, is to actually start a daily meditation practice if that works for you, and learning other meditation techniques. And there's one lady, she said, yeah, I started with 16 seconds, and it was a few weeks ago. She came to one of the classes, and she held up her hand, and she says, Jim, I'm now up to 48 seconds in the morning. It's like, yay, you know what I mean? And I mean, it really helped her. I mean, she was a lady who had to train staff in India to take over her job, and then she lost her job, right? So it's like, talk about stressful. She couldn't sleep. So 16 seconds, it does help. It really does. One of the people I work with, they actually schedule this 16-second meditation periodically through their day. So they set their clock, set their phone. So doing it, you know, first thing in the morning, and then, you know, pick a spot, you know, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and create those. You know, it's called a pattern interrupt, okay? And so create those pattern interrupts in your day, because our day is filled with us thinking about what we have to do, what's going to happen, and a lot of this stuff never really materializes, or we're sitting there lodged in the past about, you know, what did happen, and we know we can't change the past. And so creating these pattern interrupts really helps us alleviate our stress. Makes sense? Okay. So that's some good tips right there. You know, when I think about stress, there was a study done by I made a note of Michelle Gillen, and she wrote a book called Broadcasting Happiness. Very interesting book, and in the book it references a study where they took 110 participants, and they said, hey, we want to split you into 2 groups, and we want to understand the impact of watching news for a few minutes in the morning on your mood for the rest of the day. Well, we can all kind of guess where this is going to go, right? But this was a scientific study, and what they found out was that, you know, they did this test about 8 hours later. They kind of like a mood test, a psychological test of, you know, what's their attitude for the day. And they found that 25% of the people had a very poor report of how their day was. And no matter how good their day was or how bad it was, if they watched 3 minutes of news in the morning, they reported that they were having a bad day. The other folks, they didn't watch the news, but they watched something uplifting. So they didn't watch, like, you know, squirrels, you know, water skiing or puppy dogs or anything like that. You know what I mean? But, you know, they watched something about, you know, for example, you know, a 70-year-old man who failed his GED, you know, many times and finally passed. You know what I mean? So uplifting stories like that. So they found that those people had a really, really good point of view for the rest of the day. So, the whole thing is, we can start our day with a meditation, but at a minimum, let's start our day on a positive outlook. The news isn't going to change by the time we get home and turn on the TV at 5 o'clock. We can turn off our phone or those automatic announcements that ping us that say, oh, guess what, this happened or this happened, and they're usually negative anyway. So holding off on those till the end of the day is something that we can all do. And so when it comes to stress, it's meditation it has many benefits, and certainly stress is probably in the top 3. I've had high blood pressure for many years, and I blamed it on Motorola, and worked for them for 30 years. Very, at times very stressful. I had lots of great times there too, that's for sure. But certainly meditation has helped me over the years with my stress and my high blood pressure. So there's medical benefits to meditation as well. I was talking to Lena about a study that Aetna did. Aetna's the large insurance company, right? And because they, slowly companies and organizations are starting to adopt meditation and mindfulness techniques into the workplace and allowing their folks to actually engage in that during the day. Just as we talked about, excuse me, I need 16 seconds to your boss, you know what I mean? And so they, of their 50,000 employees, roughly, a quarter of them decided to take this, meditate a couple times a day and take these time outs during the day, or actually, as my teacher David G calls them, time ins. Okay, take a time in for yourself. And what they found is that over the course of a year, the stress reduction reduced 30% in the people, and they also found that their chronic pain reduced by 18%. And so, these types of large-scale experiments really prove that meditation does work. And of course, with companies, really the bottom line is really what it's all about. And what they found is that even though they gave permission to the employees to take these times ins, take a short meditation periodically through the day, they found that on average, they gained an hour a week in productivity. So, and when I think about myself, I certainly I can see that because my mind is more focused. In meetings, I'm more focused on what we're talking about. And so when Aetna did the bottom line, X amount of salary, an hour a week times 52 weeks times 12,000 employees, heck, that's a big impact by allowing people to meditate periodically through the day. So it does work, and from an organizational point of view, it just makes sense. So it's fantastic that you're leading this effort here. One of the things that the other techniques that we can do is to it's called a stretch and release, and so I'd like to just do that with you as well. So what we're going to do is, and this is something you can do. It takes a minute. Do it at your desk. Do it when you have a break or something like this. And so let's just take a long, slow, deep breath in, and gently let it go. Let's do that one more time. And gently let it go. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on our right arm. And on an inhale, we're going to tighten our right arm, tighten our fist, our forearm, our shoulder. Hold it 10 seconds. And release. Now let's do our left arm. Inhale, tighten, tighten, tighten. And release. Now we'll do our right leg. Inhale, tighten our foot, our ankle, our calf, our knee, our hip. And release. And now let's do our left leg. Inhale. Tighten your foot, your ankle, your calf. And release. Now we're going to tighten our whole body, both arms, both legs, our torso, our neck. Oh, are we ready? Inhale. And release. Boy, I feel a lot more relaxed. So the reason this works is because when we have built up stress, we've been in a long meeting and things aren't going well or whatever's happening, our body builds up stress producing chemicals in our body, and with this flex and then release, we're actually triggering our body that says, hey, the stress is gone. The stress is gone. The way our stress works goes way back to, when we used to be chased by, saber-toothed tigers. And, thank goodness that doesn't happen anymore. But our body still reacts very similarly. And so today it's called, our ego release. So it's how we react when our ego doesn't get what it needs. So stress is really caused when we don't meet our needs. And if our needs are, I need to have, this done, or quiet in the classroom, or I should have had, this report completed on time. All those things build up. Those are our needs, but they build up stress in us. So stress builds up on us. So this flex and release technique you can use this during the day too. I know another person who actually schedules this on their clock, on their phone, and does this 3 times a day just because. So consider that as well. You know what? Any questions? I'm just got it talking right here. How's everybody doing? Has anybody ever practiced meditation before? Does anybody meditate? No? Okay, good. Yeah?
Would this count? Yesterday morning I had an excellent experience. I commute and I was listening to my favorite station, WFMT 98.7 Classical.
Sure.
They had the sound major themes from the dances, one of my favorite movies, Dances with Wolves. A lot of you might remember that. Broad, sweeping, powerful music. I was in such good spirits when I arrived. Works with me.
I think so. Well, so I think that's a really good example because, meditation is about staying focused on the object of our attention. So let's talk about what is meditation. That's a great lead-in. So when we meditate, we generally drift from our thoughts back to the object of our attention. Now, the object of our attention could be some beautiful music. More commonly, it's our breath or a mantra. A mantra is something we say inside of our mind. And so now we have 70,000 thoughts every day. We have a thought every 1.4 seconds. And some people, think that the idea behind meditation is to stop all those thoughts. Well, you can. Carl Jung said, the more we resist, the more we persist, it resists. So you can't stop your thoughts. The more you try to stop your thoughts, the more they're there. It's like, don't think about a pink elephant. You know what I mean? That whole idea. And so when so meditation is really as simple as relaxing and first of all identifying that you have a thought. And that's probably the hardest piece right there, is because we tend to float along with our thoughts, and then we come back and we go, oh, it was a thought. And then we come back to the object of our attention. So when we did our 16-second meditation, what was the object of our attention? It was our breath. Okay. So in a few minutes we'll do a nice breath-based meditation that you could take home with you and do at the end of your day. And so really, mindfulness, we've all heard about the term mindfulness, right? So really mindfulness is creating this ability to separate ourselves from our thoughts. So we all think that we are our body. We all think that we are our thoughts. But really, we're the observer of our body. We're the observer of our thoughts. And that's where we're trying to achieve. And meditation will help us get there. I mean, I have to say that I meditated for a long time, and it wasn't until my wife kind of said, "Honey," slapped me in the back of the head because she's really smart. She says, "Don't you get that these things are happening because you meditate?" I went, because good things were happening at work. Meetings were going better. This collaboration between departments was really effective. And she said, you're really a much nicer guy at home too. You know what I mean? So and I had no clue. I was just meditating because, that's what I was doing. You know what I mean? But it really works. And so it takes time. It takes time. We become more reflective instead of more reactive. We think more about how we react. There's a great saying that basically says that in between an event and what started the event, there's a moment, and in that moment we have a moment to choose what our reaction is, and how we respond in that moment defines us as human beings. And so this time between when something happens and we respond is something we can actually take control of. And when we meditate, going from where we're practicing, our mind is a muscle. It's no different than our head. Learning to be able to use our mind and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop and not just react because something's happening. Gives us that ability to pause. Just hit the pause button for a second, and just give us that instant to think about what's my best self. Who's the real Jim? What Jim do I really want to have? Make a comment to or move forward. What do I really want? Because so often when we respond, we go, oh, geez, how often we go, that night or later, we go, oh, really, I should have not said that, or, It's that whole thing when we write that email, right? And go, there was a time at Motorola where I actually put in that 10-second delay because, so that's what meditation can help us with, to be that best person. So let's meditate. Let's have a nice short meditation. And so this is a breath-based meditation. And so let's all take a long, slow, deep breath in. And gently, gently relax. Let's do that again. A long, slow, deep breath in. And gently let it go. With your eyes closed, just think about your breath, your inhale, and your exhale. Your inhale, and your exhale. With every inhale, feel your muscles in your neck just relax a little bit more. Think about your breath. Think about how your inhale connects to your exhale. There's a small moment in time, that transition. Just think about that. Millionth of a second transition between your inhale and your exhale. And just pause there, just for a real short moment. And on your exhale, there's another transition. So just pause there. before you inhale. And let your breath be relaxed. Don't force it. Let your breath flow. Your inhale to your exhale. And your exhale to your inhale. And relax. Now imagine, as you breathe, there's a place on your body that when you inhale, your breath comes into your body. It can be your chest, it can be your stomach, it can be your throat, it can be anywhere in your body. But, if you were to imagine, let your imagination go and feel where that breath comes into your body, that energy. And where that energy goes out of your body. Think of that spot. And put your hand on that spot. Inhale and exhale. Think of that spot. Follow your breath. As you inhale, feel the air flutter past your fingers into your body. And as you exhale, feel the cool air, feel the energy, the old energy flow out past your fingers. And you can just imagine your hand on that spot if you want, that's fine. And continue to breathe. And you will have thoughts. And if you see a thought, just say, hey, there's a thought. And come back to your breath. And there may be sounds. And sounds are just thoughts by the time they reach your mind. So just let those go as well. And if your body needs to adjust, allow your body to adjust. Move your leg, move your arm. If there's that crazy little itch on your face, go ahead and scratch it. Be comfortable. And if your mind gets lost on a thought, don't worry. Just come back. Sometimes our mind gets carried away with a thought and another thought. But that's okay, it happens to everyone. Just come back to your breath. Follow your breath. I'll tell you when it's time to come back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And let your hand just fall away. And just relax in the stillness and the silence inside. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So this was just a few minutes. I teach at Akasha. Akasha comes here once a week, I think, and teaches yoga. So Akasha is a yoga center in Crystal Lake, and I teach there Wednesdays at noon and at 6. And so, if you'd like to come and join me, that would be wonderful. What I do is I build upon the meditations. Adding an intention with the meditation is so powerful. We talk about, I usually do different types of meditations as well, and so it's not the same thing every week. Oh yes, and before I go, I want to give you one more little tip. It builds on the 16-second meditation we talked about, and how we can use it more effectively in the workplace. And it's called the doorknob meditation. And so the way it works is, as you're walking, going from meeting to meeting, office to office, as you reach for the door and you grab the doorknob, you inhale. As you turn it, you hold. As you open the door, you exhale. And as you release, you hold. And then you walk into the room. And you can visualize a door. If there's no door, you can, as you transition through that space, that spot, that opening, you can use this and speed it up a little bit to make it work for you. But it helps you clear your mind. At Motorola, I was going from meeting to meeting to meeting, and it was just, and every meeting was so different. And I'm sure it's the same with you guys. Every topic is a new topic. And it just helps you clear your mind from the last one and enter the new space with new energy. So yeah, there's I share all kinds of stuff. We do chocolate tasting meditations, and which is a mindfulness type of meditation. There we go. So, do we have any questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I read a book that was really good, instructive.
Yes.
Called 10% Happier, and the author's name is Dan from ABC News, and I forgot his last name. He's a famous news guy. It's called 10% Happier.
I like it.
It was like a nice introduction.
Yeah.
He was kind of a skeptic, and now he's like, this makes my life a lot better.
Right.
So I would recommend that if you're
Dan
interested.
Harris.
Yeah.
What?
Dan Harris.
Harris, that's the name. Thanks.
That's great. There's a ton of great information out there about meditation as well. So I mean, you dabble online. I mean, my mentor is David G. And I liked his approach because, from him we embraced many different types of meditation. And so there's many paths to Rome, and so that's what his program, and he's got some online stuff, or you can go do an in-person thing, so there's a lot of great stuff out there, that's for sure. There's a book I'm reading right now which is kind of mind-blowing for me. It's The Awakened Soul, is that what it's called? The Unencumbered Soul? Oh my gosh, I wish I could remember that. Sorry. But it talks about this whole notion of our mind chatter is not who we are. you know, and as we go through life, I mean, you know, as we're driving here, I mean, even as you guys are listening to me and watching me, your mind is going over here. There's chatter. Oh, well, you know, what kind of runners does he have, or his shoes aren't tied, or whatever, or you know, your mind is going off on these other things. I mean, even while we're reading a book, I'm sure we've all done it. It's like, oh, damn, I got to read that paragraph again because I was thinking about this thing over here. You know what I mean? And so, as we get better at actually, you know, being able to observe, be the observer, and not be part of all of our thoughts. Our thoughts are not who we are. You know, our thoughts are just, you know, crazy things sometimes, and to not think that we are our thoughts is so important. So you know, there's lots of great stuff out there, that's for sure. And so yeah, if you'd ever like to have me back again, I mean, absolutely. You know, this is fun. I like to just to share the ideas of meditation and to share the benefits. So if you have any questions, we have my wife is an Ayurvedic practitioner. I'm not sure if you have heard of Ayurveda. It's a holistic healthcare system from India, from like 5,000 years ago. That's new again today. And so we do a newsletter. It's usually an inspirational quote once a week, and usually once a month we add some information about herbs or meditation or something interesting. So if you like, we have a sign-up sheet at the back if you want to sign up for that. So with that, once again, if you have any questions, but I thank you so much for coming and allowing me to share. Thanks.